All right, welcome back to Pine Tree State Restorations and the rare signal meter for one guy guessed it right, a national MC-57 radio receiver. Now, this is called the SM-57, and it was made in Cambridge, Mass from 1948 to 1951, but I suspect it didn't come out until 49 because people were complaining they didn't have a signal meter on the national NC-57. So they invented this, and this plugs into the back of the radio with an octal plug right here for a national NC-57 shortwave receiver, which is one of my favorite shortwave receivers ever made. Besides the NC400 being my favorite one, and then the 300 or 303, then I would pick the NC57 because it's the right size. It goes up to 54 megahertz. They made a marine version. They're just a great radio. Sideband, everything on it. It's just a great radio. It's one of the best radios, classic radio they ever made. And this meter, when it plugs in the back, it gets its power from the octal plug from the radio. And then, of course, it's tied into the signal circuit of the radio, so it acts as a signal meter when you're tuning the radio because the NC57 didn't have a signal meter built in. Now, story on this meter is I've been looking for this meter for about 30 years and I couldn't find one. I found one time and the guy wanted $500 for it, and that was probably 15 years ago. Obviously, that was way out of line. I didn't buy it. And I've seen others, but never for sale. And I finally found this one in Sanford, Maine. Guy had the radio and this, and I bought them both for $125. And I'm telling you, I couldn't pay him fast enough because I'd have paid three times that amount just for the meter, let alone the radio. Now I have the radio and it needs to be restored. It's in pretty good cosmetic shape. I fired it up already. I did get it running, some deoxit and a couple of tubes. We'll go over that maybe next week. And it is running, but barely. It needs, all the caps need to be replaced in the power supply, probably P resistors. There was one tube I didn't have that was on the weak side I need to replace. But overall, I got to pull the cabinet off, wax it. I got to replace the dial lens because they're famous for warping on those. And you can buy them. Guy makes them online for the NC57. So I'm just going to buy one and put it on there. And then I'm going to wax the cabinet and go through the whole radio. And then I got the meter sits on top. I got it hot wired up to a 9-volt battery so you can see it light up. Let me hook it up here. There it is lit. I just got a 9-volt battery wired up to the octo plug so you can see the meter. Runs on a 6 to 8-volt bulb, pin type bulb. You just take the back off. And on the back of the meter, there is a adjustment potentiometer, which you're going to need to clean with deoxit. I'm sure it's going to be really touchy until you do. The meter there, I'm going to take out. I'm going to wax the cabinet. The paint's good. And I'll hit deoxit on that. Probably put a new bulb in it because that one's probably old. It'll probably burn out. Put the correct bulb in there. I think it's 44, 46. I'm not real sure, but I got to look that up. And I'll probably put a higher voltage bulb in there so it will not burn out as easy. It's a 6 to 8-volt bulb. I'll probably put an 8-volt bulb in it. That way it'll last a long time. But that's how that works. And finding these SM-57 meters for this radio is like hen's teeth. They didn't make very many of these meters. People bought the radio, and I don't think they made hardly any of them because you never see them for sale. And when you do see them for sale, they're either huge money or the person that has it doesn't want to sell it. They're in museums and stuff, but it's a rare meter. I wanted to share that with you. Um, the NC57 I have, I'm going to do a video on that and what I did to get it going, what you can do to get it going, and what has to be done to make the radio right so that it won't smoke up on you when you're using it. It's a great radio. I'm going to do a big video on that. But thanks for watching Pine Tree State Restorations and the super scarce SM-57 signal meter by National Radio Corporation for the NC-57. We will see you soon.